Hi, my name's Michael from Save a Soil Permaculture. What we're going to be looking at today is a saying that I like to have whenever I'm working here at my own home or at someone else's place, is that pruning means propagation. It's about not wasting time and about improving our productivity and increasing our productivity just by using what we have around us at the moment. Dave, quit it. All right, so what I've got here today is I've got two things we're going to be propagating. So I've got wormwood. All right, so I grow a lot of this in and around my property for a number of reasons. It's a great insect repellent plant, so I've got a lot of hedging in and around the place, so it's very drought hardy as well. So as the wind goes through it, it releases its scent, and it actually helps repel the pests in and around my garden. Any of the prunings that I get from this, I can use to throw into my chicken pen or line my chicken house, which actually helps repel mites from that space. The chickens actually self-medicate with regards to this for their own wormer. And also you can use it to boil down and extract the oils from this to use as a foliar spray on your plants to actually, again, as a pest repellent as well. The thing though, if you use that, is that if you have a rain event or a heavy mist or dew event, you have to reapply because it just washes off. The other plant that I've got here today as well is the passion fruit marigold, another one I really like. It's a perennial marigold. It's got a great smell. It actually smells like passion fruit. It's got a great flower which brings in a lot of beneficial insects, and that smell as well can be used to help repel some of the pest species that come into our garden. So these are two ones that I really like to use in my garden. So we've got our secateurs. Now what we've got here is, I'm going to peel it back a little bit, and that when you've got the stem of the plant and then you've got the nodes, which is where the leaf stems join, and then you've got the internodes, which is the gaps in between. What we're looking at is when we're for propagation. Now this is softwood propagation, so it's good for summer and autumn. When you're looking at hardwood propagation, you're looking at the winter periods, and of course seed propagation, which you can do any time of year, and root propagation, which we touched on briefly with regards to that vetiver grass that was on the, one of the previous videos. So where you've got this, you rip it off, and you can see here that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes, and 1, 2, 3 internodes in between. So the nodes is where not only will the stems reshoot and the leaves reshoot, but also the roots start to grow as well. So looking at this, I'm getting my secateurs, and so just pruning straight across the bottom there, so just below where the node is, so you can so you haven't got too much stem, because if it starts to rot, that rot could continue up the stem. All right, and just above where we're going to be working, so we want at least 1, 2 below ground and 1 above ground, so we want three sets of nodes. So I'm going to cut it on a bit of an angle, just above, no more than 45 degrees. All right, so it's like that. Now the reason why it's cut like that on the top is A, we know where the top is, so we're not going to accidentally plant it upside down, and B, any moisture that hits it is going to run off, so again it's not going to be hold and invite fungal matter and rot into that space. Now once we've done that, I've got a little bit again of the homemade potting mix that I've been using. All right, and so I apply a bit of that to these pots. All right, it's always better to do propagation in smaller pots and transplant it to a larger pot later on, and we just push that in and firmly push it round. So as you can see, if you can have a look in there, I've got two sets of the nodes underneath the soil and 1 set above, all right? And that will give it a good chance of propagation to begin with. Something else I like to do, and if you'll just give me a second. Right. I normally have this with me, but I'm normally doing my propagation in the grow house, is I have a lot of this growing in the grow house, and that's aloe vera. So one thing that you can do, some people like to use hormones or willow water for their propagation to increase productivity. What I like to do is, once I've pruned it back, so I've still got my 1, 2, 3 sets of nodes, is I like to get some aloe vera, and I found, just so using aloe vera and putting it in over the nodes that are going below ground, I find I have a higher chance of success as far as root propagation is concerned in that space. All right, it's something that I have readily available. I don't have to look after in the grow house. The reason why I grow it in the grow house is for this reason. and it's right where I need it. And again, a little bit of potting mix in there, and just squeeze it in and just give it a bit of a push. All right. Now with the wormwood that I like to use as well, it's exactly the same process. So I'm pruning just the softwood, stripping back those leaves. All right, so here I'm going to have a little bit more in that space, so I just cut the leaf in half, all right, because I want to start having its energy going into root system rather than leaf growth. Covering that stem. Now there's quite a lot of nodes on this. That's okay, I don't mind. And then putting that in. And nothing goes to waste. So whenever I do any pruning at all, I actually also do propagation. It takes a little bit longer, so I have to plan for it in my day, but the benefits of doing so are exponential because I get so much more done just through that planning phase. All right, so I'm going to pot up a few more. All right, now that I've done this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've now got 20 things that I've now propagated of passion fruit, marigold and wormwood. That'll go into my grow house. I'll give it a bit of moisture now, and then it's just a matter of making sure it stays wet, or moist, not wet, I should say. And then from there, in a few weeks, that'll start shooting roots. When I see the roots starting to come out from the bottom, I'll transplant that into a larger pot, look it after for a few more weeks, and then from there, harden it off, and then it'll go into the garden. All right. We hope that you found this little video helpful and how easy it can be to do soft cutting propagations, especially in around this time of year. And we hope that you have enjoyed, and that if you do, please subscribe, like and share to this video, and we look forward to seeing you in future videos.